Joining us now is Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb. Sheriff, welcome to the program. Thanks for taking the time. You know, it's not just in New York City, coast to coast. We are seeing police officers under attack, even in the line of duty. Last year, 73 officers killed in the line of duty. This sourced to the FBI here. What's your message to police officers who could be fearful of what they could encounter when they're responding to these calls?
You know, my message is to always be careful. We have to treat every call as if, somebody has a gun or it could be a dangerous situation. But we still need those warriors out there holding the line. The rule of law has been what the strength of America is. And I'm grateful that we still have men and women that are willing to put on that badge every day and go out and serve their communities to the best of their ability. Because if we didn't have those men standing in the gap, this country would be an utter disaster right now.
Yeah, and we continue, unfortunately, on Mondays. You highlight the crime that has occurred over the weekend, the headlines that you just cannot ignore. And again, in this case, an officer in New York City, an officer in Houston as well, shot and killed while responding to criminal activity here. This is something that is so obvious if you are going to any news site that it was somewhat shocking to find that the president, who hosted a 2-hour press conference last week, did not mention this statistic, the crime rates, or even the border crisis as well. Your thoughts on the fact that it did not come up during the presidential press conference last week?
Yeah, and first of all, my heart goes out to those families of those officers who lost their lives. Godspeed to those brothers. But, they didn't bring it up because this is a bad situation for them politically, and it's bad for America. All the cities that are having tremendous problems, I just heard the mayor mention they're going to try to go after the root cause. Well, the root cause is liberal politicians in these cities who have let their cities go to hell in a handbasket over so many decades. And now this is what you get when those policies are in place and those politics. We've got to get these people out of office, put people back in there that are going to put America first and who care about the rule of law.
I want to switch gears, talk to you about the border crisis as well, because this morning we're remembering a Texas Department of Public Safety Special Agent, Anthony Salas, who was tragically killed in a traffic crash. This was during the arrest of 6 undocumented immigrants. Sheriff, when you see these stories, what does this tell you about safety at our southern border and the risk that these officers place themselves in?
Oh, they're in a tremendous risk because we have these open borders. We have a federal government who's failing to do their job. Last year, they apprehended 1,200 people who were wanted for assault or who had committed assault here in this country. 2,100 people for illegal drug possession. 60 people who had committed homicide. 1,600 people who had been arrested for DUI. 825 burglaries. I mean, the list goes on and on of 488 sexual offenders. These are people who committed crimes in this country, who were sent back after serving their time, and now are trying to come back into this country again. And those are only the ones we caught. Imagine how many we didn't catch. And then not even to talk about the drugs that they're bringing in with them.
Right. And we talk about these numbers because they are record-setting. And so that should be a cause for alarm here. But there are really stories behind these numbers. And again, humans and people who are impacted by these record-setting numbers here. You know the community. How have you seen the impact of this border crisis impact those who live where you do?
Oh, it's a huge impact. And I'm sad to see it every day. But here's the thing is a lot of people think that it's just Arizona or Texas or one of the border states. But it's really not. What happens in our backyard today will be in your front yard tomorrow. And what we're going to see across this country more than anything is the plague that is fentanyl. We had over 100,000 fentanyl deaths this last year. That's going to probably really shoot up. I hope not, but it's probably going to go up over 250,000 if I were to guess. And so we're as sheriffs, we're going to stand against this. I know the federal government's not doing their job. At least the line level guys are, but the government, the Washington, D.C. bureaucrats are not. But sheriffs are standing together. Please come support us at protectamericanow.com and stand with us as we try to combat these issues across the country.
Yeah, we thank you for the good work you're doing. And no questions about fentanyl or drug overdoses as well at the press conference. Really unfortunate. Sheriff Mark Lamb, thanks so much for joining us today, sir. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Emma.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too.